Hello, Crafty Queen, and welcome to Paper Rain. It's me, Rachel Bellamy, aka Queenpreneur, and yes, I have on the same outfit. Why? Because I shot both intros at the same time. Nevertheless, this is part two, or the second haul, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to show you what I got, and then I'm going to show you how I play with the materials, and I hope you like what I made. And one of the things I learned in these haul and plays was, you really should play with this stuff because some of the stuff is really great and you can make a lot just for a couple, just playing for 30 minutes. You can make a lot and make some very interesting pieces. And so one of the things that I did in both hauls and haul and plays was I had limited supplies. Like I had like six colors maybe, and I had the materials that I purchased, but I didn't use a whole lot of extra stuff. And I think limiting your supplies increases your creativity and productivity, because you don't worry about, oh, what's the right piece to use. You just go with it and have fun. So hope you enjoy this, and give me a like, subscribe, leave me a comment. I would love to talk to you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, so here's the haul. I went to Michael's. I had a coupon. I went several times. They had a 60% coupon, and I think they had like 40% off of all fine art. So I got some basic colors of this paint, and it's called Grumbacher paint. It's next to the student grade, so it's like artist level paint. They're like $6.99 a piece, but if you got a coupon, I think I had a 60%, and then I had another day I had 40% plus 20. So I got some basic colors: teal, I got yellow, I got red, I got purple. That's kind of my favorite palette. And then this is the best. Cherry on top. So I placed a large order on cherry on top because I think at a certain point the shipping is moot or whatever, or is free. So when I did my metallics inventory, I realized my oranges were low. I didn't have a lot of oranges, so I got some more oranges from the Art Alchemy acrylic paints. So I got this gold amber, and I got this fresh orange, metallic fresh orange, and then I got that steampunk. I love that color. And so that's like an empty jar. So I also have been eyeing the Tim Holtz mini snips. I realized there was 3 sets, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out which one I was missing. I have the large set. So I think it's a 9-inch set. That's what this is, the 9-inch. This is the 7, and then I didn't have the 5, so I ordered the 5. I really like the Tim Holtz scissors. They have a great weight, and I needed to finish the collection because I don't know if you noticed, but he's come out with black handle scissor set. The tonic is going to be silver and black now as opposed to red, and I'm a red girl, so I figured I should finish my collection. Here I'm just showing you why you might need all the different sizes. It's hard to cut little details. It's hard to cut details with the big scissors, so I was just experimenting. I'm always experimenting. So anyway, I got the snips because I was on my long wish list. So I keep a running wish list of art items that I want or need, and I have been eyeing the stencils from the Crafters Workshop for quite some time. So I'm just pulling out my supplies. Don't worry, I'm gonna go slow and show you what I have. But I love all of Julie Faith Van Balzer's stencils, and I probably have most of them. And my package came in 2 shipments. So my first shipment had these gel plate storage tins. Oh, please ignore the silly lights, right? So you can see my Jimmy Rig lights up there. You're going to see me mention that. That's what you see, the reflection of. But I have a number of jelly plates, and I've mentioned this in several videos, but I have all of the little shapes, and so I got 3 of the big tins. They're, I think, 9 by 12 or something like that, 9 by 14 maybe. So I got 1 tin to put all of my shapes in. And that's what I'm doing there, just loading them in so you can see that it's actually going to work. You can put I got 6 shapes, the minis. I got 6 of the minis. And I take them out of this case. Now, I did not throw this case away because, this idea may not work. And I don't want to not have the original casing, so I put the casing somewhere. Anyway, I'm trying to get the reflection out. So that's one, and that one has my minis. And then I have another one, and I got the other one for my 5x7 and my 3x5 jelly plate. Now, Ranger came out with another size. So they came out with a set that has 3 shapes in it. And I really think, I'm thinking about it, but I don't necessarily know if I need it. Anyway, so I put those in there. What I was trying to show you in that little demonstration was that I could put my 8x10 in there, and I think I decide to do it, but it wouldn't fit in the actual case. So I take it out. I'm going to put my, yeah, that's what I decided to do. I'm going to go ahead and put my circle in there, and then I'm going to call it done. So let's get to what I really was excited about on this haul. Julie came out with these in January, and so I've been watching and watching and watching these stamps. So I got the Magic Ladder, and I ended up getting the Magic Ladder in both the 6x6 and the 12x12. I also got this one, which is really cool, and it's called the Mini Heart Swirls. I believe this is a new one as well. It might be an older one, but it's one I don't have. So this one is called Aboriginal. I think this is an old one, but I really liked it. As you watch my videos, you'll see that I'm drawn to certain things. I'm drawn to geometric shapes. I'm drawn to things that will create like a textile look and a pattern. I'm big on pattern, big on textile looks, and so I tend to buy a lot of stencils like that. I thought these were great. It looked kind of, to me, they remind me of like jewelry. Anyway, I got this one. This is from a different brand altogether, and it's called Bulb String. I got that one. It's clear scraps. So Marlene has one of my favorites on YouTube. She has some new stencils out as well, and she is quickly becoming a favorite of mine. And so I bought this one. This one is called the Botanical Dream. I just loved all the little details. Like I can see myself using it as a whole and then using it as little pieces. This is also one of Marlene's, and this one is called, I think something with some scrolls in it. I'll turn it over so that you can see and write it down. And I hope that helps, because I'm terrible with remembering what stencils are called. That's called scroll work. This is one of my favorite. You know what, when I saw this, all I thought about was in Africa, they have these shells called cowrie shells, and there used to be a currency, and when I see it, that's what I think of, and so I had to get that one. And this one, again, she's got all these little intricate details, and they just add a lot of texture to both jelly prints and finished art pieces. That one's called Free Swirl. And then I got some ones that were a little deviation. This one is, I just thought this would make a great pattern, especially if you're trying to make like a textile type print. And this one is called Connected Dots, and it also is a crafter's workshop. And this one is famous. I remember when Julie cut this out in her art journal, I was like, wow, that's some great patience. But I'm glad she made it into a stencil so that we all can have it and don't have to do the cutting. This one is called Modern Lace, and I can't wait to use that one. And then this one, I love my spirals and swirls, so of course I had to get this one. And I think I wanted to get it in both sizes, but I think I settled just for the 12 by 12. And this one's called Circle of Jewels. Sounds befitting of a queen, right? And so as I mentioned, I got both the 6 by 6 and the 12 by 12 in this particular one. I just love this pattern, and it's called, again, Magic Ladder. And then I got a couple others, and you see this was my first shipment. So these were some older stencils that I didn't have. And how do I know what stencils I do and I don't have? I actually keep an inventory on Evernote, and I'm going to show you guys how I do that. I'll make a video of that as I complete it. But that's actually how I keep account of what stencils I have. When they come in, I try to log them, but I'll tell you about that later. This is called the Mini Flower Tiles. I just thought it was really cute, and I'm big on geometric shapes, so I got this one by Clear Scrap. It's some triangles, and it's just really cute, these triangles. And this one is called something triangles. That went too fast, so if you want that one, just go rewind it and slow it down a little bit. Okay, here's another one. I have been eyeballing this one for quite some time. It's another Julie design, and it's called Stripes Explosion. And
I have been eyeballing this one too. It's hard to find from time to time. I think it's called Navajo, and I happened to find it, and I believe the designer is Rebecca, maybe. Um, but yeah, I've been looking at that one for a while too. This one was new to me, but so you're gonna see I'm gonna use it. This is one I'm actually gonna play with, and this one's called Squiggles. Again, I thought it would be great as a for creating textile and pattern. This is another one that when I saw it, I was like, wow, this is going to be great as a pattern. And this is called the DMB Rhythms, and I believe that the stencils I got from Stencil Girl, I believe they have a similar name as well. But anyway, that's my stencil haul. I was very excited about them, and I'm going to play with them in a minute. And I wanted to show you what else I got. So I got some more metallics, you know, when I was doing my inventory, and that's why sometimes it is good to do inventory so that you see what you have and what you're lacking. And the two colors that I was lacking was orange and purple, and so I rounded out my collection. I got the plum preserves, and I got this beautiful purple. It's called romance pink, but it looks more like a purple to me. And so I got these. Did you guys just hear my stomach grumble? I apologize. Okay, I also got this gel plate conditioner. Now, you know, I'm a dirty girl when it comes to jelly plates. My jelly plate, I like the the leftovers that are on there and the squiggly bits and how gross it looks. But sometimes you do need to clean it off, and so I bought this conditioner, and we'll see how we'll give it a go and see if it's about anything. But I did buy it. It was like $4. I think it was on sale too. But anyway. So let's see what else I have. Do I have anything else? Oh, nope, it's playtime. So, you know, my steps, I always start off with the jelly plate or jelly printing, and so I'm just going to go for it. I pull out some colors. I'm just getting my supplies ready, gathering up, you know, my basic colors. This one, I'm going to use some primary colors, so I'm not going to play so much with my new Grumbacher paints as much as I'm going to use my Amsterdam acrylic paints. I just like the color. Okay, so what happened here? Watch this. I have a major oops here. I hate when that happens, and I honestly I don't know why it happens. Sometimes I think maybe it was my plate was too dirty and so it stuck to something, or it could be that I had too much paint or left it on too long. I don't know, but every now and then that happens, and you know what, you just keep rolling, right? So what I did was I flipped my plate over and I started printing on the other side. What I'm doing is going to create some backgrounds here, and then I'm going to start layering my stencils on top of my backgrounds. And so I did use some of my new paints, my Grumbacher paints, as with my Amsterdam paints. They're a very thick paint, but they high pigment, so you don't need a lot. I mean, like, you really don't need a lot. I'm going to get a ghost off of this, and I might even get a second ghost later on when I put some paint on top of it. Some colors will come through. And so I'm going to work on probably like 3 or 4 pieces, and right now I'm just trying to get some more color. I'm working on a 2 11 by 17 pieces of Bristol vellum. Bristol vellum is probably my favorite paper to do jelly prints on. A young lady on Instagram hit me to that type of paper. It really is a great paper. It holds. It's great for collaging. It's great for turning your art, your prints into art, if you will. It's a little thicker than cardstock, or probably it's less thick, it's somewhere in between cardstock and copy paper, the vellum Bristol is. Anyway, so I am just making patterns here. I think that was just a regular 8 by 10. I'm going to do a couple pulls and create some backgrounds. You can just see me play. I'm mixing paints. I'm mixing the Grumbacher with some Amsterdam paint. Amsterdam paints are probably also one of my favorite paints because of the color. The color is so vibrant, and I like the vibrant colors. Some people like the dull muted colors. To each his own, right? There's no right or wrong. I just really am drawn to the bright colors. They make me happy, and I mean, do what makes you happy, right? So you see me here just making sure I get up all the paint. I'm using my 12 by 14 jelly plate. It's my favorite to use because you get, for the same amount of work. You get a whole lot of surface area covered with paint, and you can, you can do 3 or 4 prints, especially if you do, segment or block. I believe some people call it block printing, or if you do segmented printing. Anyway, so I'm just showing you here. I'm trying to get ink onto paint. Sorry, not ink. I'm trying to get paint onto my paper. So I just show you the three that I'm working with. That I probably will. So I think I pulled like 5 pieces, but I'm going to finish 3 pieces. Of the 5, I picked 3 that I thought really looked nice. And this one I just love that turquoise popped on the back of that orange with a little bit of hints of white. And so here I think, it's funny when you do these voiceovers, you kind of go, Rachel, what are you doing? So I think what Rachel's doing, and I'll talk about myself in third person, I think what I'm doing here is I'm trying to get some black paint. Yeah. And so I'm going to put some black paint over here on the side, because my next step after I jelly plate is always to add more paint, but through stencils. So I'm going to stencil paint on. That's always my step 2, to give more layers. And you have a little more control. When you jelly print and pull a stencil, you don't have a lot of control. You don't get perfect patterns through the stencil. That's just the nature of a jelly print. And so that's usually where I start. But then when I want some more detail and I want more precision, then I'm going to stencil through. And right now I'm debating on what stencils to use. I'm going to pull out some other stencils from beyond the collection that I just bought, just to round out my collection, because a lot of the stencils I just bought are very intricate. And so because this is an intricate pattern itself, I don't need more intricate stencils. What I need is some standard, some classic, repetition stencils. And so I pull these stencils out from Slightly Askewed on Etsy. She sends you these really cute stencils, and you get a cute little card that she made with using the stencils. And so I would encourage you to pick them up. They're not expensive, and you support another young artist. But she has some really great, I would almost call them classic mark making patterns, right? So here I'm getting some I wouldn't call them dots as much as they're like little squares. And so I'm just going to add the squares. And if you see to the left, the purple one are these like long, I don't know, hash marks or ovals. Anyway, she's got some really classic, great mark making patterns. And I think I probably have like 5 of her patterns, but really cute. Recommend that you get some if you like those patterns. They're not very expensive. Okay, so I'm just telling you here how you spell it, Slightly Askewed. She's on Etsy, and she's also on Instagram, so you can find her either way. And I'm just adding marks, just going to add some marks and add some details. And now here I mentioned that I was trying to go for a textile look. I tend to gravitate toward that because these pieces could be backgrounds in and of themselves, or they might get cut up, and it's easy for me to just create almost like a piece of fabric, if you will, and then cut it up from there and make my collages sometimes look like quilts or whatever. So I'm just adding some marks. I have used this big black Sharpie that I bought a long time ago, and here I just tell you what I'm working on. Now I'm going to make some mistakes, and so but that's what you do, you play, right? And so I'm using a Tim Holtz stencil. Yeah. I'm using a Tim Holtz stencil here, and don't be afraid to use your stencils, and don't be afraid to use patterns and mix them. And sometimes you make mistakes. I am going to make an ugly mistake, but don't worry, it's all gonna come together in the end. I have learned to trust the process at this point, because somehow it does always work itself out in the end. And so yeah, I'm adding these dots, dots. And don't you just love the way that those colors look together? The orange and yellow and the turquoise. I mean, they're like pop, right? And then the black pops as well. However, sometimes you can still make mud. And you'll see me make something. I don't know what I was doing. But anyway, I wanted to use my art foamies. And so I thought I would just, paint on top of the art foaming. Nope, that's not going to work. And so basically I just kind of muddied up my picture. Oh well, we'll keep it moving. We'll keep it moving. So then I'm going to try to do it the right way. I'm going to put the black paint into the little art foamy ink or paint pad that you're supposed to use. But you know what? I don't know. It just didn't work. It just, and normally I have great success with my art foamies. It was just one of those days. I don't think I had enough paint in there, or it was already so much paint and pattern on the page already that nothing worked. But yo, I'm not going to sweat it. I'm going to be like, all right. Or as Carolyn Doobie says, it was an opportunity that presented itself, right? An outstanding opportunity that it presented itself to just move to the next print. And so that's what I did. I'm going to pull out my 6x6 magic ladder stamp, and I'm going to make some marks. And I'm not using it, I'm going to create a linear pattern out of it. Again, I'm just doing this like textile look, if you will. And you see that black blob you see on the screen. I'm actually using my round jelly plate, almost like a paint palette, because again, the paint's not going to go into the surface. It's just going to sit on top of it. So sometimes I use my jelly plates like that. And again, I'm just going to keep making marks and keep shuffling these 3 sheets of paper around and just make more marks and more marks and more layers, right? And so here's another gorgeous stencil. I'm using the purple. And this stencil is from one of my art friends named, her name is Jackie. I'm sorry. I was watching myself paint and got lost. Her name is Jackie. However, on Instagram, Jackie Jameson is her name, but on Instagram and Etsy, she is Creations by S. Jerry. And again, I would highly encourage you to support, other small artists who are out there making their own stencils and stuff. It just adds. One, it adds to your collection, diversify your own collection, but two, it supports other artists who are out there trying to, contribute to the art space. I'm making my circles, and here we go. Now the fun begins. This is actually, I love jelly printing. I love pulling. I love the mystery of it all. I love adding the stencils on top and to see where the piece is going. But this part right here is like the most relaxing part for me. Like I go into this like special space when I get to this phase, this step. And I'm just mark making, and I am taking the pattern that the stencils have provided, and I'm adding dots and adding squiggles and adding lines, and I'm just, trying to bring out some of the details and to make it pop. Now, because there's a lot of colors on here, I am going to use my white paint pen and make some marks. I tend to make my marks with white, like a signal ball pen or white paint pen or black paint pen. And sometimes I'll use colored paint pens. I have a lot of them, so, it just depends. But normally I tend to use my black and white pens to create accents when I'm making marks. But I use, I use them all. So anyway, I'm using her stencil again. I'm trying to fix that glob that's in the middle of my paper. It made me, and then I saw the light. I said, you know what? When in doubt, change the focal point. So I had an idea. I'm gonna come back to that idea, but I wanted to add some more purple because I had some paint here. I'm not wasting that $6.99 paint, so I add layers and layers and more layers. Again, I am not wasting that $6.99 paint. And so I'm gonna get all the paint out of it. I just really like this little the circle pattern thing that she created with this. Again, this is made by Creations by S. Jerry on Etsy, and her name on Instagram, I believe, is Creations by S. Jerry, but her name is like, why do I keep wanting to say her name and then I can't say it? Last name is Jameson, and it's Jackie. So anyway, I'm showing you that I'm creating patterns, and now I'm trying to balance out my pattern. Because so now I'm committed, right? I've already put these purple lines down. I've put these black polka dot lines down. I put these black like circle things down. And so I was about to go somewhere else with that one, and I'm glad I stopped myself. So now, like I said, I've got this mess up in the middle of this page, and so I'm just gonna say, hey, you know what? When in doubt, cover it up with a white stencil, and now you create a new focal point, and no one will ever know that there's a mistake underneath it. And so I use this beautiful stencil by Marlene, and I add this white, and I just love this pattern, how it looks in the end. To me, it is so pretty. It would be a gorgeous sundress, right? All right, so I'm going back here. I'm adding some white because in my mind I think that somehow adding white is just going to make this piece work. It balances it out. I did create some balance here. I'm processing something, so I'm just making some marks, and now I'm trying to get all cute with the slow motion. Hilarious. And I'm going to show you the other prints. I think I'm just about done with them. I really like this one. Again, it would make a gorgeous skirt or like a swimsuit cover up. That's what it looks like. It looks like something you would get in the islands. It's just, I really like that piece. Okay, and in this piece, I just love all the colors and how they pop. And those are the 3 pieces I had fun playing with. I hope you enjoyed watching me play, and your takeaways are, just go for it, have fun, don't be afraid to mix pattern and details. Again, what's your favorite product that I bought? Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I enjoy your comments and feedback, and I so appreciate when you subscribe. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.